That is totalitarianism defined.
I'm talking about militant Islam. Globally, it's a gigantic power. Globally, it's a gigantic power. It controls an enormous amount of oil wealth, several large countries and states, with an enormous fortune. It's pumping the ideology of Wahhabism and Salafism around the world, poisoning societies where it goes, ruining the minds of children, stultifying the young in its madrasas, training people in violence, making a cult of death and suicide and murder. That's what it does globally. It's quite strong. In our societies, it poses as a cringing minority whose faith you might offend, which deserves all the protection that a small and vulnerable group might need. And up go the placards, and up go the yells and the howls and the screams. Behead those. This is in London. This is in Toronto. This is in New York. It's right in our midst now. Behead those who cartoon Islam. Do they get arrested for hate speech? No. Might I get in trouble for saying what I've just said about the Prophet Muhammad? Yes, I might. Where are your priorities, ladies and gentlemen? You're giving away what's most precious in your own society, and you're giving it away without a fight, and you're even praising the people who want to deny you the right to resist it. Shame on you while you do this. The force that is the main source of hatred is also the main caller for censorship.
There are Muslims who are prepared to use violence at the drop of a hat if a cartoon is published in Denmark, if the Pope makes an off-the-cuff remark, a stupid one in my opinion, about Byzantium or the Crusades. They go straight to violence, but yet you cannot criticize them for being violent, lest you be accused of blasphemy. Notice that Islam plagiarizes from Judaism and Christianity only the most horrible bits and leaves out the Greek stuff. The claim of Islam is that it is the last and final revelation from God to humanity. That's quite a big claim to make, that you don't need another book after the Quran. You don't need any more evidence, you don't need any more argument. It's all done for you. Now, that's okay if people want to claim that. But now they want to say, if you have any difficulty with this idea, if you have any doubts about it, you're not allowed to express them. Because if you do, you are insulting us. You're making us feel hurt. Now, just imagine those two claims put together. One, a fantastic claim, and the other, a fantastic claim that you can't challenge. That is totalitarianism defined. They say, we tolerate you. I'm not going to be tolerated by these people. They say, but we've got something last and final, ultimate. You only need this one book. If you only get round to believing in it, you would be happy. But we can't be happy until you do. Now, I'm very sorry, I'm extremely sorry to say this, and I'll put it as mildly as I can, but I decline to be spoken to in that tone of voice, by anybody. Now and then, if you're like me and you go on the air and you debate with some whining, self-righteous, self-hating, self-pitying Muslim, and you tell him what you think of his Quran and his Prophet, and so you say, you have offended 1 billion Muslims. You notice this? You notice that? There's a slight tone of moral blackmail here, I sometimes think. Look, if it was a matter of defending the right of somebody to hold their religious opinion, I would defend the right of a Muslim if there were only 3 of them. The idea of 1 billion is clearly intended as a threat. There's a menace to that. You've upset 1 billion of us. You should watch out. That's what it means. And we're going to try and move in to your city and your country too, and we're going to raise more and more demands. That's what's meant by it. We have to face the fact that it's a clash of civilization, of course, and about civilization. And within a civilization, it does represent also, I think it's nice to be able to note, a war within Islam too.
I'm very sorry to say that the calls for jihad, for killing of apostates, for preachments against non-Muslims and so on actually are in the Quran, a book that all Muslims believe is the unalterable and final word of God. So the problem is with the religion itself.